Hiya, pals. Hi, pals, and welcome to the Disneyland Paris Show. Here's your hosts, Lucy, Chris, and Hugh. Gosh. And now, Disneyland Paris news. It's Princess Week.
Visuals released for Magic Over Disney.
And 37 Disney Street went to Disneyland Paris and won't shut up about it.
Hey there, hi there, ho there, Disney fans, and welcome to another Disneyland Paris show. That is correct. It is Princess Week. We have things to talk about with that. But most importantly, we're going to continue our trip reports. All we managed to talk about last week was Avengers Campus. That was kind of our Avengers Campus special. So we're going to delve into some more nitty-gritty now. We're going to give you our travel reports and also some reviews of the accommodation that we stayed in. But before that, we have things we do, don't we?
We do have things we do.
We do though, don't we though?
We do though, yeah. Innit?
Yeah. But
Who are they? All aboard. Wow, that was lackluster.
I like the fact that some people are tuning in for the first time and they're like, "What was that? Did he? What was that mumble there?" We'd like to say hello today. Let me switch to live chat. First in the chat was Kelfie. Hello, Kelfie. Kelfie's going to DLP for the first time in 12 years.
She's not going for 12 years.
First time.
She's going for the first time in 12 years.
you wanted to lock in that 2022 price, didn't you? Although,
Can't wait to go in 2034.
Susie's here and she's been watching the Lightyear film, so she's going to check out our review of that, which you can do on our Classics podcast.
I hope you don't enjoy the film too much then.
I liked it.
Yeah, I did as well.
I liked it.
We've watched it again.
But
Very
we
much
had
enjoyed
issues. We had issues.
David's in the chat, plus Anne and Daisy and Claire and Cheryl and Lewis and Elle, Wits Wanderlust. Bob Sangwell's here, who used to have his own jingle. Somewhere we've got a jingle for Bob. Hannah's here.
Bobbing along.
Mark Chester, the classic Mark Chester's here. Who else we got? Emma, Joanne, Who is Nate, John. Let's start with this one. Claire, Ginger Fox, George, Purple 37, Lee, the Dunn family, Dougie Plays, Tasmin, Lauren, Magical by Sarah, and I think that's everyone I can find in that list.
Kelfie's a man.
Yeah, I just wanted to point that out.
Hey, I was going with they, and you leapt in there with a she, Chris.
Did I? I didn't even realise I'd done that.
It was
wasn't
you.
something I realised.
I was hedging my bets because we can't always remember.
No.
Just going on, these handles.
Screen
people.
names, yeah.
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 Can you put sensible names so it's clear to us, please?
No, you put whatever name you want.
We probably had
but-
this exact chat with Kelfie before,
Yeah.
Can I play Bob's jingle? Because I've got it.
Yes.
Bobbing along, singing our song, Bob, with Bob Sangwell on 37 Disney Street.
If you-
Again, I love the way we alienate people who've just tuned in for the
No,
first
I
time.
was just going to put it in context. Bob doesn't always manage to catch us live, but he's a loyal friend of the show, and he's a published Disney author. He's got 2 Disney books, which I think we've plugged before, that are like puzzle books, but they've got Disney history in them, and they've got Disney trivia worked into the puzzle books. They're absolutely fantastic. They're available on Amazon, so if you look up Bob Sangwell, and he also runs the
Disney Then
and Now on
Facebook.
Facebook, which is a really good group if you're interested in like artists, Imagineers, history, and all that kind of thing. So follow them.
Back in the early days of this show, he used to send us in little brain teasers, and we'd chuck them in there and let you guys guess them. But we've not done that for quite a long time, have we?
Also, just joining us is Oliver, Sarah, and Crabbit Scruffs. Oliver's usually listens in the car, but he's listening. He's watching for the first time, as is Crabbit Scruffs. Hey guys, love the show. First time watcher. Big love. Big love.
I'm going to take this opportunity to plug something.
Ooh.
And I'm going to try and remember to plug it in the middle of the show and at the end of the show as well, because it's a very important something.
Mm-hmm.
We totally forgot to plug it last week,
We
so
did.
I'm doubling down. On the 18th of September, we are doing a 4-hour charity show, a charity live stream, and it's going to be for dementia care. I won't give you the whole big sob story now, but it's a very, very important charity. But we need people. There's no point doing it unless people are watching and joining it with us. You can give us silly instructions. We can do certain things. We're going to discuss different bits of Disney. We're going to do the Disneyland Paris show as one of the hours, but we're also going to discuss other things. We're going to talk about films. We're going to talk about Walt Disney World, Disney Parks,
food.
Imagineers. We're going to make some Disney food.
I think, are we going to do
live.
mango whip versus pineapple whip, Hugh?
Oh, is it a versus?
Well, you said you'd bring mango whip, so I thought, and I said I was going to make a pineapple whip, so
Oh, yeah, baby.
should we do that?
We've
Yeah,
got
do that.
some Disney cookbooks. We've got like a Star Wars cookbook and a Walt Disney World cookbook, and I think we're going to make some stuff out of there. We're going to do it from Chris's kitchen, which is in the other wing of the house, and I think we're going to make the kids tea.
Yeah, Lucas is really keen to do something as well. I don't know about Bonnie, but I'm sure we can find something for them to do as well, which would be quite fun.
But we need viewers, otherwise it's us. It's a tree falling in the woods. You don't know if anything's happened, do you? So
Damn
just
fine tree falling
please,
in the woods.
please put it in your diary for. It will be 4 till 8 on Sunday the 18th. Is that what we decided?
Yes.
Yes. So it will be earlier than this. If you're used to watching us every Sunday at 8:30, by the time you log in at 8:30, it'll be done. Now, we are then going to republish different elements of it for the Patreon. So if you can't make us then you can support us on Patreon. You'll be able to watch it. But the main hour, that's the Disneyland Paris hour, will be republished as normal. I think that's the plan.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep nagging you about this because I want you all there.
Also want to say hello to the Dunn family. As usual, they're here and they're about to go on holiday again.
They're always
And
just going. I just got back.
also, Spare Claire's here.
Hey, Spare
Not
Claire.
only do we have Claire, but we have Spare Claire too. So
Another thing alienating new listeners. and
everybody's
viewers.
in the house. Yeah.
And Claire's saying she can't wait for it. Hannah's saying that they'll be there. Ellie B. Is it Ellie or L? We've just had this discussion. LB says count me in.
I
We
say
had that
L.
discussion off air.
Yeah, we did.
L. It's got to be L, right?
I think it's L.
And yeah, just thank you guys. Thank you. We'd just love to have you there. We would. Oh, and I know I keep going on about this, but I am the most spice averse person you've ever met, bar none. And I've decided that if we raise certain amounts of money, I will be taking progressively hotter spoonfuls of hot sauce, much to Hugh's amusement.
It'd be like Paul Rudd
Yeah.
doing the
Yeah.
wings.
Well,
Look at us.
Look at us.
Look at us.
Look at us.
Hugh will be doing it for fun. I'll be doing it for personal
Yeah, but the thing is,
torture.
the one I
And I'm
would
just gonna watch.
the one I would start with is the one that you would end with.
Yes.
I've
no,
got one in the fridge right now that you wouldn't be able to bear, but I just put that on my cereal.
I cried in a service station just outside Leeds because we stopped and I got some noodles from Oodles of Noodles and I got the peppery sauce. And it was just and Hugh couldn't taste anything and I was crying.
It
saying,
was-
please just go get me some water. There's a shop over there. Go get me some
It was-
water, please.
2 out of 5 peppers on the scale.
I mean, at least you admit it was 2. At the time, you were making it out like it was 0.
But it might have been actually. Anyway, come on.
Right. Okay.
So,
It's Princess Week.
drinks.
Yes.
It's showtime. All together. Your tiki 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 cup in your tiki 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 cup. Well, you made yourself a beverage. Now drink it up from your tiki 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 cup.
Well, today we're all enjoying a tropical cordial.
You've made it a bit strong for me.
Come on.
You've made it a bit strong for me.
I made
and that's
it.
saying
I
something.
put so little of the cordial in there, Chris, that I thought I don't think that's going to be
I
enough.
don't think there's any water in it.
God, are you kidding me? I think this is a strong one because that was weak.
It's quadruple strength.
Yeah, I'm going to put some spiced rum in mine though, and I've also got we got this from, sometimes in HelloFresh you get like they just chuck some in. I've got a Strongbow Ultra Dark Fruit Cider.
Oh,
The
very
ti-
small one.
Tiny can, yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
Right.
I can see
Right.
some questions in the chat, and I know we're going to talk about news, but I kind of want to try and answer them because one of the questions was, how successful have people been with walk-ins for restaurants? I can't get any decent reservations for our dates, and I've seen that David Wilson has said that Captain Jack's were taking walk-ins a few weeks ago. When we were there the other week, they were very definitely not taking walk-ins. So
we've got a walk-in at Captain Jack's, not recently, but in the past we have.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the thing
We
is, we
didn't take it because Bonnie looked at the menu afterwards and she went, I don't like it.
hadn't planned on it. We took
we
the
could have
walk-in.
had one.
We went into sort of the foyer area and glanced at the menu and we're like, actually, we've changed our minds because it was a bit.
We've
fuzzy.
been since and it was great.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Um,
That'll be one for our meal reviews at some point.
Yeah.
it happens. It is possible. And also the day of or the morning of. If you're staying in a hotel, you can see your concierge. You can also go and see at the town hall. So you don't have to go around every restaurant at lunchtime to do it. You can get those kind of reservations and just keep checking your app because people do cancel day of. But I mean, I just don't give up at any of these stages. Once it gets to sort of 12:30 or 5:30, depending which meal you're going, do go and try and just do a walk up because we've certainly had them before. We've had them for Plaza Gardens a couple of times. We've had it for Captain Jack's.
Yeah.
It's worth trying. It's not a guarantee. It's just one of those things.
If you're staying on site, I would recommend speaking to your concierge first because they will be able to tell you exactly where there's stuff available. So if you go and talk to them on the day or at the beginning of the week to see what's available later in the week, you might get something that way as well.
And I almost feel like the restaurants are going to be a little more receptive to a concierge phoning them rather than someone just walking up and going, with all the bags and the prams and.
Well,
go away.
When we were in Captain Jack's the other day, they'd allowed one walk-in just as they were opening, and it was for a table of 9. And only 4 of them were there. Oh, the others are just on the way. There'll be 2 minutes. 25 minutes later, we were still waiting for our seat, and they still hadn't turned up. And then one of the guys disappeared to go and fetch them. And I just think if you're going to go and do a walk-in, you kind of have to be there. I don't think it's right to, especially with such a big table. But there you go. The other quick question was, Chris Lees was saying, I'm just wondering, can you see the fireworks from Newport Bay? Now, again, David's answering these questions, but I'm just going to say it anyway. And he says, you can't see the fireworks from Newport Bay. That being said, I stayed in Compass Club and I had a balcony window. And I'm pretty sure I could see the fireworks. You can't hear any of it, and you can't really see the castle, but you can see them going into the air. So in that sense, you can see them.
I don't.
If there was anything happening at Tower of Terror, you'd be able to see that.
And it because it's like a horseshoe shape, it very much would depend where you were.
Yeah.
But they certainly don't sell any firework view rooms.
No.
Like some hotels would have categories that was fireworks, like the Disneyland Hotel would.
Yeah.
So if if you crane your neck, maybe same at if you're on the top floor at Sequoia, perhaps. But I wouldn't count on it. Basically.
Yeah, no, exactly. Right, sorry, I just thought I'd
No,
interject
that's a good
because I know
question.
the chat moves so quickly these days, and if we're going to talk news now, that's good. But I just thought I'd get those in before we did. Carry on, Lucy, with your news.
Well, the main news this week, pretty much the only one we're going to talk. Well, no, we've got 2 we're going to talk about before we start doing trip reports. Is it's Princess Week. So let me get my things up. There's various things going on. Sorry, there we go. There's various things going on. And I just want to say they do this every year, Princess Week. And yes, it's a cynical marketing thing. But I often think it's such a shame it's only a week because they do seem to go all out. And I think we should try and go one year because it does always fall on Bonnie's birthday as well, which is good. So you've got...
take all the friends and family as well with you.
Yeah. What, like
the birthday party we've had today.
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
We'll just do it at Disney.
Yeah, all of them. So we've got the Royal Promenade with Queens Anna, Elsa and Disney Princesses 2 times a day. This is basically a cavalcade. And they are reusing the float from the Frozen season. I can't remember what it was called. It was called something catchy. They did it in the winter of 2020. We were there before they closed. The January.
The Frozen... something. That's
the
one I remember.
I'll find out. It's on my video.
Anyway, that big float that's got the knock on it and the big sort of
wave
of frozenness.
Yeah.
They're reusing that
wave of frozen.
The
wave of frozenness float.
Frozen Celebration.
Frozen Celebration.
Wow, that's not very exciting, is it?
And Star Wars Season of the Force. It was
yes
at the same time.
But it's not just that. They've got the prince and princesses in the carriages, and they've got some walking princesses. I did see that they had Mulan and Moana kind of bringing it out, which is, I really like to see these alternative. You know what I mean? Not just the white girls in ball gowns. I like to see all the princesses.
Well,
So
as
they've got that.
Claire's just saying, she says, did everyone see that Raya is becoming an official princess? Will be interesting to see.
There's a magic
Princess
shot
Swing.
with Raya as well, isn't there? I saw that this
Yes,
week.
I
That's
did.
one of the things that's there.
Yeah, we've got magic shots, and I did know that was mainly for princesses that they don't actually have as characters.
Ah, okay.
So they have, they've got Raya and
Vanellope. Is Vanellope there?
yeah, people like that.
Because Vanellope, Raya, true Disney princesses. Merida, she's not a true Disney princess.
But
She's
I'm
Pixar.
surprised
Merida
though.
was meeting and greeting up at Cowboy Cookout. Sorry,
Still
Tilly.
not having it.
I'm surprised though that these new characters that are kind of not set up as princesses are being added to this princess in quotes roster.
Nala should be a Disney princess.
Yeah, and what's she called from?
Alonwyn.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
it
Merida,
just
because
feels a
Merida's
bit-
Pixar. I'm just going to say this again. I will say this forever. Merida,
Yeah.
not a Disney princess, Pixar princess.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's absolutely fine, and I'm with you. It's the thing is that when they started the Disney Princess brand as a separate brand, it was just a line of merchandise in the Disney store that had, and they had the princesses kind of in a triangle, and it was quite rightly pointed out that it was a load of white girls in ball gowns, which is a little bit privileged demographic. And then they started to branch out and put Pocahontas in there. They made sure that Jasmine had her different outfit, but now it's just become all these female leads. I feel now they are a bit specific about they're not going to put Merida in, are they? Because she's legitimately not a princess, but they're getting a bit kind of, I don't know, like it's very huge now. It's a huge thing, and I no longer think it's a brand in itself. It is just Disney princesses. So they used to have this thing where they coronated them, and that meant they added them to the brand. I think we've got beyond that now.
Yeah.
Bob Sangwell says, full name, Bob Sangwell. For those with children who love the characters, especially princesses, a nice gift is to write to Disneyland and possibly DLP and Walt Disney World, not tried, and ask for signed photos. I have a few.
This is why he's got a jingle. Little tidbits like
Yeah,
this.
just write off and say,
This is why we need him here.
my son loves Lightning McQueen. Can you get me a signed photograph?
This is, like on QI, they've got the elves. And the elves are like live fact checking things and all the details. This is why we need Bob and Patrick in the chat all the time.
Always there.
To be our elves, to tell us these little things. Right, we've got a magical moment. Well, I got a magical welcome, and on here, the promo, it says magical moment with Aurora at the castle courtyard. This is at the back where the Sword in the Stone is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that sword in the stone,
That
where you
sword in the stone,
you
without
just
action.
really easily pull it out.
Yeah, and it's not only that it'll pull out, it's that it wiggles that bothers me. Like, even when they've got it fastened in, it's like, the moment when the hammer moves. I need to pick up the pace today, don't I? Anyway, so that's like, I've got some... it's just a nice little promenade, little show with Aurora, but also with Minnie in her medieval... pointy hat and her entourage are doing a show in the castle courtyard. And then you've got additional meets and greets. So you've got Snow White down by Casey Jr. and you've got Merida up by Cowboy Cookout, but lots of others as well. So I was going to say, what do you think? Would you make a special trip for Princess Week? But to be honest, next year, if we're thinking of going this week in August or that week in August, I think I would make the effort.
Maybe.
It always sounds
Are we
good.
going in August next year?
Probably.
Kelfie says, when does Christmas start at DLP? July? No,
No.
I'm joking. And then Magical by Sarah said 12th of November.
I was going to say they have released the dates. It's 12th of November. As a general rule, yearly, they do the fireworks on the 5th of November, and then it's however quick they can get the decorations up. So it tends to be about the 10th. But Magical by Sarah's just told us it's the 12th. But if you need to know next year, that's your rule.
When we went for Halloween, all the Christmas huts and stuff were all there in the village on the 1st of November. We literally woke up 1st of November, last day there. No, Halloween's done. And they'd literally stripped everything down overnight, and there were loads of Christmas stalls there that weren't open.
I was actually quite surprised when Magical by Sarah said the 12th, because in my head it's the 6th.
Well, yeah,
It's
that's
like
because in our
straight
house,
in.
the day after bonfire night, it's Christmas.
We
Like, we'll put the tree up that weekend, seriously.
the last 2 years we've put the tree up on the 16th-ish.
We did
of
it.
November,
We did it.
not
We did it a
December.
couple of years ago. People got angry. They were saying that's too early. That's too early. It's something about the lockdown. People, especially last year,
Yeah,
were
no
banging
one
their
cared.
tree up mid-November, like right across the board. Everyone was doing not across the board, but loads of people were doing it. And all of a sudden, it was like, yeah, what's wrong with that? Like, I deserve it. It's been a crazy year. We were there first, guys.
I love it at Christmas here because in the last few years we've recorded multiple Christmas episodes very early, so we get a real Christmas feel all the way through October,
Doing
November,
Christmas
December.
Yeah, but
films and things.
By that point, to me, Chris, it's already like mid-Christmas.
Yeah, I know.
We're bored of it by Christmas Eve.
Oh man, that's why we take our tree down at like the 28th.
Yeah.
Well, we do, don't we?
We could take it down before New Year's.
Sorry,
It's
we've
just
had enough
it's
now.
a chore. We need to get it done. So Elle's going on the 19th of November, which means she gets her first Christmas season. That's fantastic.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be cool.
My advice for anyone wanting to go at Christmas, if you would just want to go for Christmas, is go the end of November, mid to the end of November, because it'll set you up for. You'll come back feeling so Christmassy. It'll set you up for the whole Christmas season, but also you'll miss the crowds and the expensive prices, and it's just lovely. We went, I think, like the 26th of November one year. It was ace.
Oh no, we went. No, for Christmas we went like. It was like the week before Christmas.
No, I don't think it was.
It was because we got back on my last day at work, and my last day at work is on like Christmas Eve.
I take it back.
I'm not sure it was that year. Maybe it fell on like the Friday, so it's a couple of days early. But it was the week before Christmas we went.
Oh, I take it back then. Maybe that was just one of those trips that I've planned and then never booked, which seems to happen quite a lot.
Pauline Stott says Deadpool should be a Disney princess.
Yes.
I agree.
I wonder what his summer outfit would look like. Right, I think that's everything there is to know about princesses. Princess Week. Let me see. Oh, except that we've got special snacks. As ever, we have got specialised...
Shortbread
No.
with Nutella.
No, you cheeky monkey. But probably yes.
Yeah, probably.
But no. I was going to say we've got the petit fours on all the buffets. We always say that that's the best food in Disneyland Paris is your little petit fours and the buffets. But we've also got a Cinderella's Delight cone at the Old Mill, which you can get. And
If it's
they're
open.
giving out collectible cards. These look... I was trying to find out what these were, but I was a bit last minute. They look like Top Trumps cards in that they've got a princess on one side, then loads of facts about them at the back. But I'm not sure where you're getting them.
They sound cool.
I've just remembered actually last time we were there a couple of weeks ago, there was some fancy ice creams at the Mad Hatter's place, but it was closed when I checked, and I forgot to go back. But they had some fancy Alice ice creams.
They are, we've moaned for years, but Disneyland Paris are really just starting to step up the game with snacks. Every time we go, they get more interesting, they get better, they get more fun. So I'm really...
It's still disappointing to see a cart, and you walk past 10 of them a day, and they're just selling bottles of Sprite and is it Twister or a Magnum or something like that. You know, just you don't go to Disneyland for that stuff, do you?
Here's my frustration, and it comes back to the pineapple whip, I'm afraid. Cafe de la Bruce is kind of in a place where people could not know it was there.
Yeah,
And
good, quiet
and
for
you
me.
don't- Yeah, no, that is good. You don't know whether it's going to be open or not until you've gone down the stairs and around the corner to have a look.
Yeah.
But if they had the pineapple whip somewhere on Main Street or, you know, just somewhere else as well, I think it would sell massively. I think loads of people would have them. And then people would know they were there. And
The mango whip might have stayed if they could have got it in more places.
Yeah.
It would have been more popular.
I don't understand the logic behind it.
They even hid it themselves. They didn't put it on the first menu. They put it on the one next to the till. And then they took it from us.
Yep.
Have I talked about that?
No. Do you want to do it now?
I just want to... I'm just going to go back to what you said, though, Hugh, and defend Disneyland Paris a bit. When you're on about another cart with Sprite, etc., you've got these wheel-out carts that they bring out in high season and specifically in summer that they just wheel out from backstage.
Massive
and then,
eyesores.
Yeah, they are a bit.
That they put in
they're
an
there
L shape.
they're there to just sort of serve the guests at high season. They're not permanent things, so it would be very hard to put very interesting snacks there. And to be fair, those are the ones that were selling the Yoda ice cream and things like that.
Exercise
so they are putting something on there.
One
but
of
I think
them
these
was.
are just the temporary stations.
One of them was selling the Yoda ice creams.
Yeah, maybe.
One of them.
Was it the one on the entrance to Discoveryland?
Yes.
That's where we got ours from as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
George Sharp is saying, I said that almost like I was going to tell him off.
George Sharp, you naughty George.
My teacher voice really came out then, didn't it? George Sharp. If
I'm talking to you, George.
Yeah, if you can go to DLP for Christmas, do it. It's when we went every year through my childhood. So many core memories. Honestly,
He says, "Uh-oh."
I cannot recommend Christmas at Disney enough. Now, we've never been at Halloween, granted, but we've done summer, we've done spring, we've done various different times. But Christmas is something else.
Halloween's
it's a
better.
different experience at Christmas. Do you think Halloween's better?
Yes, I do.
Interesting.
I will stick my head above the parapet.
You will die on this Disney
and
Hill.
Yes, I will.
I think
Halloween is better.
I think Cheryl's just replying to someone else in the chat, but she says, "I've put some of my trips at Christmas on my YouTube channel."
Ooh.
Cheryl Yates.
Ooh, check those out.
Check her out.
Right. Also, Hugh, I don't know if you can find them. Someone was telling us where we get the collector cards. And now they've scrolled up and I can't see who it was.
Okay, let's
so
have a
that's
look.
information for other people. Ooh.
Oh, Hannah says, "We only found Pineapple Whip because of Hugh. We looked on Sunday and Monday, but it was closed. Got it on Tuesday, and it was quiet."
We got it on the Thursday, and then we went back on the Friday at 11 o'clock, and it was shut. So we couldn't get another one.
That was Hannah again, but she also says, "In shops, food places, and cast members, apparently. I've seen card number 5 is hard to locate."
Oh.
Thank you, Hannah.
Interesting.
This is what I love about Disneyland Paris. Love about Disneyland Paris compared to Walt Disney World is there are still spots like Café de la Bruce and up by Colonel Hathis and going up towards Indiana Jones where you can almost feel like it's only you and a dozen other people in the whole park. And it just still feels gorgeous and quiet.
I reshared a picture of that I took of you and Bonnie, one of my classic you two walking away from me shots in Discoveryland, and there is no one around. And it looks like we're there at first thing in the morning, but it's the middle of the day. It was just after it opened after COVID, so it was quiet, but I mean, it looked dead. There are like people have said, "Oh, your photographs always look like there's no one else there," and I do that. I wait for people to go. You know, you can take photographs that aren't full of people if you're careful. Yeah.
So in Walt Disney World, I don't know if you've been or not, guys, but we love it. We love it. You can't find a quiet square inch, really. You can't. There's nowhere to go and hide. But Disneyland Paris is full of it, and it feels so intimate all the time. Right, that's me telling you.
Which Wonderlist
how
saying that they're
amazing it
going
was.
that she's going to Walt Disney World? It is a she, Whitney. Going to Walt Disney World in October. And I wish it was going to be Christmas season, but it'll be Halloween. So
And
come
Chris
on,
says Halloween's
come on
better,
now.
and he's been at Christmas as well.
And not to Walt Disney World, but
no.
But we know that Walt Disney World does Halloween good.
Mickey's Not So
Does it
Scary
good?
Halloween
Does it
party
good?
looks incredible this year. Do you know, George, we haven't watched the vlogs on that, and I'll tell you why. Our favourite vloggers was Molly from All Ears, and Molly has left All Ears and created her own channel, and it's called Mammoth Club, and Mammoth Club and All Ears released their Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party video on the same day. And we're like, oh my God, what do we do? Are we loyal to the presenter? Are we loyal to the channel? And I couldn't bring myself to watch All Ears without Molly, nor could I bring myself to watch Molly when she has abandoned All Ears. So I didn't watch either of them. And I'm still debating who I'm going to be loyal to.
This feels a bit intense.
I know.
I'm sorry if this sounds like gossip, but she did do a video saying I've started this new channel and stuff. Here's what I'm doing. But there's a bit where she says, "I'm not here to talk ill of previous brands I've worked with," and then she doesn't say anything else. So it almost sounds like there was a bit of beef, or maybe not even beef, just dissatisfaction or something. I don't know. I mean, usually if you'd say that, you'd add "love those guys, wish them well," but she didn't say that. She just said, "I'm not here to talk ill about them." Anyway, you know what I mean? That sounds a bit. Am I gossiping? I am.
There's a lot of,
and I love it.
There's a lot of love for Molly in the chat. A lot of people are saying go with Molly, which, to be honest, that's what we want to do because we enjoy watching Molly. It just feels a bit.
We met her. She was nice.
We did. She was lovely, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Right. Let's move away.
I have
from
nothing
this.
to contribute here.
We're sorry, Chris. And we're half an hour in. Just a quick one. Visuals are released for Magic over Disney. And that is basically, they do these just extra little nighttime spectaculars for no particular reason. I'm not just saying that, it's just for no particular reason. The dates this year are 7th and 9th of November, and then January the 19th, 23rd and 25th, 2023 that is. And it's a nighttime spectacular at Walt Disney Studios, and they've released a graphic for it.
I can't believe we're talking about plans for 2023 already.
Well, it's soon.
I know it is, I know. Just doesn't life get away from you?
You're nearly in academic year 22-23 now. You see, I live in academic years, so that's where I'm at.
Theatre seasons for our local theatre group.
Yeah.
Starts next week.
Well, yeah, and somebody at a party I was at today was asking me about plans for next season, the July slot, and I just presumed they meant 2023, but they were talking about 2024. Because we're already in the season that includes July 23.
Yeah, true.
I couldn't cope with that.
Yeah, it's a headache, isn't it?
It is.
It's all just a headache.
Right. Okay, I'm going
What's
to stop
next?
now. That's everything we've got. That's all she wrote. So we're going on to travel and accommodation. We've got half an hour. What do you want? We ran over last week out of excitement. What do you want to do first, Chris?
I don't mind. I'm very easy on this. So it's travel and accommodation. Why don't we start at the beginning and get there?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, we're going to talk specifically about how we travelled last time, aren't we?
Yes.
Not like we've done a travel show before. So to add to that, if you want to check out our travel show, find it. I'm not sure how you would find it. Just put Disneyland Paris travel, I think we said before. You can probably find the old show, and that describes all the different ways to get there. But last time, we all did the same thing, which is we got a train to London, then we all got on the Eurostar.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is you got a direct one.
No, it changed at Paris.
I went to Paris, you
sorry.
went to Lille.
You changed at Paris, we changed at Lille. So we basically got the same type of trip.
Well,
all
we
the trains
didn't really,
we got.
because you were changed to an RER, so you didn't pre-buy your... Like, you got
we didn't
a
have a train
Eurostar to
booked,
Paris,
yeah.
whereas we booked all the way to Disneyland Paris, but it was a change at Lille.
And even as
situation.
late as the Friday before we left, we were still trying to decide whether to do the RER or to get a taxi or to book some, book a transfer. We literally left it to the last minute to decide what we were going to do.
Well, it's good that you can do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, the travel, the thing to start off with here really is this. Our original plan was the same plan that I've always had, which is we were driving, we were going to drive down, we were going to stay a night at Magic Circus, which meant we were driving the whole way from West Yorkshire all the way down, so 4.5 hours to Kent, and then 3 hours on the other side. But I was pricing the whole thing up and getting ready to book the crossings for the car, and the crossings were coming out at £120 each way, which is a lot of money.
A lot more than
and
usual.
Fuel prices went through the roof as well. So when I just thought, I'm going to have one last look at Eurostar, because it was coming out ridiculously expensive. But there was a 20% offer on, and I managed to get the four of us on returns. I must have picked a sweet spot in terms of time and everything, but I managed to get the four of us in return for under £300. And straight away I thought, well, we should just do that, because even if we have to drive down to London to get that Eurostar, it's cheaper than us having to, we probably ended up getting an overnight in Ashford, so there'd be another £100 on top there. So you were talking £500 before we'd even done anything. And then Laura noticed this whole thing about the friends and family rail ticket, which we've talked about before on the show, where you get massive discounts if you're travelling with a kid. And we managed to get the four of us on return tickets to London for £86 for the four of us, which is really, it's nuts, isn't it? When you think that quite often you can't get a single return for that price. So at that point we just thought, well, we were quids in, so it just made absolute sense to us.
Just to sort of jump on that point but reiterate it, I have priced up more Disneyland Paris trips from West Yorkshire than I'd care to mention. And I've always said Disneyland Eurostar's the best, but it's the most expensive. And then there's flying, and then there's driving. Now, this time, as what you've said, it is completely reversed. Driving was coming out the most expensive because of all the reasons you've said. Flying, I don't know where you guys are who are listening, but our local airports has stopped flying to Paris during COVID because Flybe went bust.
Man.
And that was really stung us.
That was the best one.
So now it's like, it's go further to an airport, pay to park your car, more expensive airlines, all that kind of thing. So it came down to it being the cheapest. And then for, like you said, the actual UK rail to be cheaper than driving to London. Because we've always driven to London and parked on the outskirts. It was just mind-boggling. However, it does come at a cost. I'm going to throw this ball to Hugh now. Because... Well, we always said, wherever you save money, there's a reason for it. The more you pay, the more...
There's a triangle. There's a triangle in filmmaking, which is cheap, good, and fast. And you can't have all three. You can only have cheap and good, or fast and cheap, or fast and good. You can't have all three. And it's the same with travel, but those are like speed, cost, and convenience, or time, let's say. Oh no, did I say speed?
Yes,
speed, cost, and sort of comfort, convenience, whatever. So the cheaper it is, the longer it's going to take. I mean, it makes sense, but it's like it's so clear when you look at it on paper, isn't it? You're like, of course that's expensive because it's the quickest, and like they match up across the board. The better they are, the more expensive they are. You just have to weigh it up, but we've done them all, and it almost balances out. If you're willing to put up with a lot. And travel for a long time, you can save loads of money.
So halfway through our trip, you declared...
Yeah. I was like, I don't care what it costs. We're flying next time.
Exactly. So do you want to tell us about our trip and why that was...
That's what happens in the middle of travel. Like, on your holiday, you don't remember anything about the airports, do you, afterwards and before? Unless it's been, like, really traumatic, like in Barcelona when we were stuck in the airport for 36 hours. Because it just fades away because it's unimportant. So at the time I was like, I don't care. And I think maybe, I'm not sure. I think, don't be afraid.
I set you up to tell you the anecdote, Hugh. That's what I tried to do a few sentences
I'm going to need more than that.
Okay, Hugh, tell the listeners the anecdote as opposed to getting to Disneyland Paris this time.
The anecdote?
Well, okay.
What happened is...
Yes, what happened?
Okay, so we got a train from Leeds, and it was half an hour late, but didn't matter.
It was a very early train as well.
Didn't matter too much, and then we got to King's Cross, nipped across the road to St Pancras, and so first of all, we got to the bit, just where you're going through the gates, and it was ram-packed, and I was like, oh my God, have you seen how busy this is? Wow. Little did we know, we turned the corner, and it is the longest queue I have ever been in. Probably not the longest I've ever seen. The longest queue I've ever been in my life.
Longest.
There was we reckon about 1,000 people, didn't we? Or was it more, like 2,000? What did I tell you, Chris? Was it 1,000?
I was in the same queue the following day, so I would have said it was... No, I wouldn't have said it was 1,000. I would have said 800 probably.
Yeah, it was It's
not the biggest queue I've ever been in.
It was macca, but there's people with signs there, and it turned out there was a delay there anyway, so we were worried we were going to miss it, but we got on, and it was 40 minutes late. The 40 minutes late, I texted Chris and said, looks like we're going to miss our connection at Lille, and he said, what happens if you miss a connection? And Lucy was going, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And I was just going, well, we're going to find out, aren't we? I wasn't actually that scared. And it turns out, if you do miss a connection in Lille, you can just go up to the train operator. So we found the train operator booth, little building, and we just went in and said, hiya, we were on that train that was late, and they just gave us a ticket for the next one. Cool. Unfortunately, that was 2.5 hours later, so we had to kill 2.5 hours across the road in the little shopping centre. Which
3 hours after the one we were booked on.
Which was a bit boring, and it made us 3 hours later to Disneyland Paris.
But there was no compensation.
No, because you have to be over available. An hour. You have to be over an hour late.
And
in order to be
so close.
I mean, we were...
Yeah. Oh, we were as well.
50 minutes
we weren't over an hour late from the Eurostar, but we were 3 hours late to our destination because of the thing.
Count.
And I
British
think
Rail, it does count, so that should count.
I think it should count because we bought our ticket from Lille.
You want to have a look at that.
Eurostar.
For British Rail, definitely that counts. So when we set off from Wakefield they were already 20 minutes late, and they were actually the guy was straight away saying, if you arrive at your end destination half an hour or an hour late as a result of this, then you are entitled to compensation, so you need to contact us. And they kept saying this over and over again because they'd had some problems and they were having to drive slow. And
I might have a look at that.
But our Eurostar trip was a very similar experience, I guess, to you guys initially. That massive queue was just ridiculous, but it moved at a reasonable pace. When we got on the train, we got on the train and it set off on time 2 minutes after we'd sat down. We were literally the last ones on the train, and we were off and we were on time. When we got to Lille, the announcer came on and said, we've got a bit of a problem. There's a suspicious package at Lille, so they've closed the station. So we're just going to have to sit tight. So we were sat there for an hour, still in the train. And then he said, right, we're able to go now, but we can't use the main line anymore. So they couldn't go on the Eurostar line, which meant they had to go on the local line, which meant they couldn't go full speed. So he said, we're going to try and make some time up, but you're basically going to arrive an hour late. So I was going, whoa, compensation. I'm going to get at least 20-30% back here. This is fantastic. But he managed to pull back enough to get us to 40 minutes. So no
close.
compensation. Yeah. So we were supposed to arrive at 8 o'clock in Paris, and we arrived at 8:40. It wasn't too bad.
I thought you had to get off the train. You just sat on the train.
Yeah, we just sat on the train.
Oh, right.
Just sat there.
So, I mean, here's the thing, because this is decision making, and next time we book a Disneyland Paris trip, we're going to have to make this decision again. We set off from our house at 6:30 in the morning to get this early train that was late, to get that train that was late, to then be mucked around there. And we didn't get to Disneyland Paris until 6 in the evening.
11 hours later with the time difference.
Yeah.
Right?
So, I mean, that's quite an epic hike. Now, you always spend more money when you get an additional night. And when we drive, we get an additional night in Ashford. But we get actually to Disneyland Paris a lot earlier in the day. And if we were to go via Eurostar again, but get a hotel in London, we would spend a lot more money, but get there earlier in the day. If we went from where we are and we flew, I always find flying tedious because you have to get there 2 hours before the flight and there's all that kicking around. But we would get there a lot earlier. The question is, how much is that worth to you financially? That's always the question, isn't it?
I have to say, I guess it was 11 hours for us, I think, as well, door to door. But I found it quite a relaxing journey. Even the boys behaved, they were giddy as hell, but they enjoyed themselves and they behaved themselves. And so it was air conditioned, it was comfortable, and I didn't mind. It's far less stressful than driving.
I think
Even though I think if you did it in a one-y, I'd actually probably drive it quicker. If you hit the crossing right. If you get there early and they let you straight on and you're off 35 minutes later, you're travelling really quickly.
I said that to you. We could have driven quicker. But I did get to read an entire novel.
There you go.
Between there and back. And I'm like, that to someone who loves reading but is a working parent and never gets to do it, I'm like, this is my best holiday ever.
I want to say two things though, quick. The journey on the way back was like 6 hours. It was nothing.
It was a different
It was
story.
like the transfer at Lille was, we went straight through, we sat down, and 5 minutes later we stood back up and queued to get on the Eurostar. Brilliant. Wasn't a wait at King's Cross really, was there? 10 minutes or something?
Just
Boom,
enough.
we were
had
home.
a mass delay.
It was like cream going home. It was beautiful.
I am getting compensation for the journey back because when we got back to London, there was a delay because there'd been signal problems earlier in the day, so all the trains were delayed.
That's why
our train had been made into three trains worth of people were on it.
Privatise the rails, they said.
We were 20
It'll
minutes.
be great, they said.
We were 20 minutes late leaving because they'd managed to pull back a lot of their delays and stuff. So we got on our train in our seat and they said, look, straight away they said, the train is overbooked, so sit where you can, but please be mindful of others because there are 3 people to every seat, basically. Nobody ever came into our carriage. Now, the train that we were on, it had 2 engines in the middle of it, so you couldn't walk from one end to the other of the train. And everyone had gotten in the other side, and nobody wanted to get out and walk up the train to get into it. So it was really comfortable. But we pulled out of King's Cross, and within about 2 minutes, we'd stopped. And then there was an announcement saying, ladies and gentlemen, we've got one of the brakes on one of the carriages is stuck. So we're going to have to isolate that brake. So we're just waiting for them to close off all the trains so that the driver can get out, walk to the back of the train, isolate the brake, and then we'll be on our way again. So we were there for like 40 minutes just sat waiting for this to be able to happen. So presumably adding further delay to all the other trains coming out of King's Cross as well, which is fun.
We once got on a train to London, and the previous train had been cancelled, so we had all the passengers on, and we got to our seat, and there was a guy sat there, and he did actually move, to his credit, but he did it, under duress, because he said, well, my train was cancelled, and this was my seat on that train, and I felt like saying, I would never say this to someone, but I felt like saying, how is that our problem?
Yeah.
This right now is our train, and if that happened to me, I'd be annoyed, but I wouldn't think, well, I can sit in that same seat, because that wasn't his seat.
No.
So off you pop, my friend. As soon as you saw that we had a child with us, off he went. Anyway, the second thing I was going to say before was, don't be scared. If you've missed a connection and you're in a foreign country and you're like, oh no, you just find the place. You go there and you like, we missed a connected flight from Manchester to London, and we drove down. We missed that flight.
Oh my God.
Nightmare story. And when we got there, they'd also removed us from the flight from London to Florida. But as they said it, I was so zen, because I just thought, well, that was a mistake. They're not going to say, so sorry. And eventually she looked at the screen and she just said, all right, you're okay. You're back on. Just don't panic. Like we knew we were going to miss the Lille connection, and I was just thinking, what's the worst that can happen? Like, we'll be
Go and
fine.
buy another ticket.
Well, maybe
worry
we'd.
about it
I said,
later.
what, the most we'll have to buy another ticket. It might cost a little bit of money, but that's not what you budget for. But you just go there and they go, okay, here's a ticket for the next one. That's not a guarantee.
We decided we were getting a.
It's not a guarantee, but just don't panic, don't worry.
So I was just going to say, we decided we were going to get a taxi while we were sat in Lille waiting for the train, and then we got going again. We said, actually, let's not bother.
Wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
I'm going to move us on just because I'm keeping an eye on time, and we've got 3 hotels to do reviews of. You stayed one night in Magic Circus, and
One
then
night in
4
heaven.
nights,
In
5
Sequoia,
nights,
yeah.
4 or 5.
4.
4 nights,
4 nights, 5
in
days, yeah.
in Sequoia, and we stayed 3 nights in Resid Home.
Resid home.
In Chessy. So where shall we
In
start?
Valderop.
Well, let's do a little Fletcher Rain sandwich. You start with Magic Circus, and we'll take it in turns.
Well, it was one night in Magic Circus, and it's a nice hotel. It's one of the partner hotels, so there's a shuttle bus that goes there, but it goes to all the other partner hotels as well, and it's like third from last, I think, or 2nd from last. So it takes about 15 minutes to get there, and they are busy shuttle buses. If you're on the partner buses, because they're going to all these different places, they are very, very busy.
But regular, is it like every
Yeah.
15 minutes or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that.
And yeah, it was a really nice hotel. Well, I thought it was. There's this really nice bit downstairs, so when you go in, it's all like velvety walls and stuff, and you go in and check in this room, but then you go around the corner and there's like an atrium type thing, and the atrium's got massive pillars, and it was all done out like under the sea, but it was all the pillars were like screens.
And this is new, because we went there about
Yeah.
3 years ago, and
And it wasn't like that.
wasn't like that.
It was amazing. And Lucas, we got up to the hotel. I think I said this on the show last week. But we got up to the hotel room, and Lucas said, "I want to go and video downstairs because it's brilliant. I want to go video the under the sea bit." And I said, "Well, when we go down in the morning, I don't think that's what it'll be." And sure enough, we went down in the morning, and it was like Beauty and the Beast type feel to it. And because they've got presumably got these like LED lights and everything as well, the whole room just looked and felt different colours, different theming, everything. And they can just do that at the drop of a hat. It's so clever.
Magic.
Yeah, we got breakfast booked, but we didn't stay for it because we wanted to get into Sequoia. So we, the following morning, we went and we were going to get the first bus in, but it was taking forever. So we decided that rather than get the first bus in, we would grab a taxi. So we just got a taxi and went to Sequoia.
The breakfast is all right. They're standard fare. Anemic beans, though.
Oh,
They can't do beans.
but they have beans. I know some people keep asking about other beans in hotels. I saw this on a thread the other day.
That's the first time I've
Need to know
seen them,
whether
I
it's baked
think,
beans or not.
is at the Magic Circus.
I can
Pale beans.
say if you want some like Disney level theming, not quite Disney level, but you're into like themed hotels, but you don't want to pay for a Disney hotel, I think that's probably your best option in the area. We've never stayed at Magic Castle, which is by the same company and apparently is quite similar, but it is an option. You don't just have the option of a Disney hotel or a bare wall travel lodge. It's not like that. It's a really
We thought actually if we were going to come back and do it differently, somewhere like that is definitely something we would consider.
Annual pass holder. Kind of
exactly.
thing.
Yeah, but they do say, and obviously this is an obvious warning, but they do say at the moment you have to book your park days. So if you've got tickets and you book a hotel with them, you need to make sure you've got your tickets and you've booked your days, because otherwise you won't be able to go in the parks, basically. Especially like when we were there then and it was booked up every day, all day.
Because that happened to us, as we will probably get onto another time. But yeah, it's good. And like you say, the fact they've got the shuttle bus, which is regular, sweaty.
What I
but
liked
regular.
about it, by the way, is that everything that you get in terms of cast members in a Disney hotel, it felt like I was getting that same experience. They've worked very hard to try and replicate that.
And did you have the bunk bed area that you could curtain off?
I don't know if we could curtain it off. We probably could, but I didn't really look at that. But yeah, there was a bunk bed with a double bed underneath it, and then our bed to the side of it. So Lucas was upstairs, Ollie was downstairs. There was a massive moon at the top of it. I think I put it on Instagram. So at the top of the stairs, there was a massive moon that was lit, which looked really really nice kind of feel to it. When we got there, it was quite late because we'd been to Napiano's, hadn't we?
Yes.
For our tea, and there was no air conditioning upstairs. I think we talked about that last week as well, didn't we?
Yeah, it was the hottest room in the world, man.
Yeah.
I still have flashbacks to it, but
It was like we were collectively going through menopause, wasn't it?
We all lost about a stone.
yeah,
Sweated it out.
and we had pizzas, and we still lost a stone. But yeah, so we got back and Laura went off and found a vending machine, got us some drinks and stuff, and we just had some drinks and went to bed. So it was literally just a bed for the night, really, more than
Hit and
anything else.
run.
Yeah.
Well, we stayed in the Resid home, which is it's like it's self-catering apartments, but it's set up far more like a hotel than like an Airbnb would be. And it's in the centre of Chessy Valderup. It's literally
Which is like a 5-minute drive from... No, not even that. Like 3-minute drive from the park.
You could probably walk to the parks. We didn't. I estimate it would take 20-25 minutes.
Yeah.
It's definitely further than somewhere like Cheyenne and Santa Fe is, but it would be walkable. We didn't try it. Maybe we will
Not
next
with a
time.
child, no.
Not with a child.
A tired child.
And then a full day and all that kind of thing. But we were 10 seconds from the mouth of the train station. When I say 10 seconds, I mean like walking across a car park.
Which we didn't realise for a
And we
couple
were
of
there.
days, and we were walking
Well,
all
one day.
around this block and going into the main entrance, and then we realised because the platform was so long that it stretched all the way down to our hotel.
And,
Oh, that's awesome.
and
Yeah.
it was...
And it's
it-
only like 30 seconds from Valderup to the parks as well, isn't it?
It's less than a
Literally,
2-minute train
I
ride.
the first day I was vlogging and I was doing the right, guys, we're going to see how long this train takes so that you've got the information if you ever want to stay here. And by the time I said, so I'm going to time it now. And by the time I'd done that, we were already pulling into Disneyland Paris. So it literally taken about 90 seconds, I would reckon.
It's like $1.95 each, 90 or 190 something, and then 95
It was
cents.
less than €5. It was like €4.20 or something.
No, it was like
Anyway.
it's like $4.90 for all of us, something like that.
Yeah. So it's cheap, it's daily, it's easy. Having said that, they're every 20 minutes. They're every 20 minutes all day. So that's really convenient. However, if you arrive at the train station as one is pulling away, that means a 20-minute wait. Whereas if you're staying in a Disney hotel, you're just straight there, aren't you? So that's the downside. Now, it was clean. It was small, but what they did with the space was so clever in that they divided it into a living area, a small double bedroom. They'd got the toilet and bathroom separate, which we like. Sorry.
I just realised before we forget, the Dunn family have made a special request for a shout out to the whole Dunn family because they're here for Katie's 16th birthday.
I'm sorry, I
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Chris hitting the high note there for Katie's 16th birthday. So, happy birthday.
He said Mick in the voice of
Voice
Mickey.
of Mickey, yeah. That
Voice
wasn't
of
very Mickey, was it?
Oh, do you know what? I just saw that later on, which reminded me. Okay, so I'd like to say, hi, Katie. I can't believe it's your 16th birthday. diggity dog. Gosh.
And thank you for the super chat, Dunn family.
That was
Very much appreciated.
Manic Mickey.
Thanks for stopping by.
Oh, that was good. You don't do Mickey very often.
You know,
huh?
I did Mickey last week, and it was better than I've just done it now. And then Chris did Goofy, and all the chat was all about his Goofy. No love for the Mickey.
Hey, it's
Gorsh.
not a competition, boys. It's not a competition.
Not a close one, apparently.
I was describing residence. So yeah, it was clean. There was a few issues with the layout, like there's nowhere to put your case, and the wardrobe is really close to the side of the bed. There are plugs in convenient places, but the thing is, this was our cheapest of the cheap option.
Half the price of a Disneyland hotel.
Of the cheapest Disneyland, it will be a quarter or a fifth of the price of somewhere like Hotel New York. It really was. And it was really nice. We really enjoyed it.
And you know what?
You get what you pay for.
We always we go there. We've been there a lot, and people always go, "Oh, so I assume you pop into Paris." I've never been into Paris ever. Oh, I've been adjacent to it so many times. But and now I know this isn't the same, but just being off site, being in a little town with a shopping centre and some little restaurants and things, you're getting somewhere close to having a little bit more than just a Disneyland Paris holiday. You feel like you are a little bit in France. Un peu.
That's how I felt on the RER. Like I was
Yeah.
actually in France.
And you've got boulangeries, and you've got a big hypermarket, and you've got a shopping centre, and there's loads of little brasseries around. If you want to have dinner, everyone worries about getting the dining reservations in the village and in Disneyland Park. Well, if you just pop a 2-minute train ride down there, you've got loads of dining options that have all got availability, and it's lovely. So it was a really good option. We will stay there again because we do go usually as annual pass holders, although we haven't renewed this time, but we'll still probably buy another set next time we go. And it's just financially, it's very hard to justify Disney prices at the moment, and that was such a good option for us.
As much as I love it, the price, it makes it very tempting to stay there again.
It does.
Very tempting. And, someone's asking about, Hannah says, was it okay being self-catering? Does that not make it more expensive than having a meal plan? We went to a hypermarket, cheap as chips.
We got a bag of croissants.
Oh, sorry, cheap as frites.
and that was us for breakfast, and then of course we just ate in the parks for most of the time. We just made sure we had breakfast stuff in. But what surprised me is you weren't really paying self-catering accommodation prices. Usually they're more expensive than hotel rooms, aren't they, because of the accommodation you got. We didn't get it because it was self-catering. It was the cheapest option we could find, and it was self-catering. It was great. It was good. We liked it. Right, but the main event will be Sequoia Lodge.
Yes. Can I just talk about the RER for a second first?
Yes.
'Cause we kinda didn't do this.
That little jingle you get in the train stations.
I love that.
It's so French. Ours are like, hello. Ooh, might as well do that at the end.
We'd heard so many horror stories about the RER as we were reading about it, and this is one of the reasons Laura was really kind of, I don't want to do it. But I kind of kept pushing it and saying, look, it'll be all right. Yes, people get pickpockets. That happens in London as well. We go on the tube and we're fine with that. It doesn't matter. We just need to be wily and keep on our toes, make sure the boys are focused and not like doing what little boys do. So we prepped them before we got off the Eurostar. Just said, like, one of you stays with me, one of you stays with Laura. We make sure you're holding their hands the whole time. You don't talk to anybody. If anyone talks to you, you ignore them. No, but it's true though, because they do it to distract you.
Yeah.
And then that was it really. So we went and queued for the tickets, thinking it was going to cost $7.50 each, and it was €5 each for me and Laura, and it was $2.50 each for them. It's nothing, absolutely nothing. So for €15, we got from Garda North to Chessy to Marne Valley.
Yeah.
And it took 40 minutes, but it wasn't too bad. You had to change once, and when we changed and got on the longer train, straight away this guy just got up and cleared a space for us so we could all so we could all sit, because we had our big suitcases and stuff as well. Everyone was really friendly and nice. Everyone was like really keeping an eye out for the boys and stuff as well. So it actually felt very, very safe. There are no problems at all.
That is cheap.
It's really
because
cheap.
it's 40 minutes from here to Manchester, and it's like 17 quid each.
Yeah, but that's Europe and rail travel, isn't it? It is
Welcome
cheaper.
to England.
Yeah.
Can I make my joke about the privatised rail again? Sorry, carry on.
So So yeah, it was really good, and I was just thinking, because Magical by Sarah was saying in the chat to Susie about the cost of Ubers from Garden Nord is about €79, and that's what we'd priced it up as when I was looking. And if you compare those two, time wise, it doesn't take that much less time either, and you sat in someone else's car and they're in charge of whether they want to have air conditioning on or not, or whether the windows are open, and all that sort of stuff. And I don't know, I thought it was a really good experience. The only slight thing that happened, which was a little bit exciting, was as we were getting onto the second train, this guy kind of climbed onto the train, and he just collapsed onto the floor, and everyone just basically kicked him out of the way. And he got up, and he didn't get on the train. He turned around and walked off really sheepishly. So I'm pretty sure he was up to something, and the locals who were there made sure he didn't get away with what he was trying to do. He was literally causing a distraction. I told Mum and Dad about this, and they said they were nearly mugged on the RER by a very similar thing. So this guy fell down, and everyone helped him up again, but he'd left a couple of things on the floor. And as my dad was going down to help him pick up these things for him, someone else went for my dad's bag. But my mum saw him, give him a crack, and then they just pegged it.
Wow.
So there you go. Pretty scary.
Aren't people horrible?
I know. But yeah, so that was the RER. Sequoia Lodge then. Sequoia Lodge is, for me, the best of the Disney hotels that I've been in so far. I love the layout of it. All the areas are so nice. All that stone and wood. It's just
Were you in
so
a lodge?
beautiful.
Or
No,
were you in the main?
we had a lake side, a lake view one.
Very good.
Yeah, it was just. I mean, the rooms are the rooms, aren't they? Without being funny, the hotels, all of them, they have the same layout rooms. They're just themed in slightly different ways.
Yeah.
But it's a really good practical room, and we could see right out onto the lake from where we were. Yes, there were trees and stuff in the way, so there wasn't anything to see there anyway. But it meant you could look out in the morning and see how busy it was outside and stuff, and that was really good. But yeah, the general theming of the actual hotel is just. It's stunning. The floors, everything. The pool's brilliant as well. We went in the pool twice. And there's a slide. It's the best of the pools that I've been in as well. I loved it. But the thing I like the most about it is that when you're walking about outside, it's got that Disney music in your ears the whole time. And so you've not just got the sound of the birds and the nature and stuff that's there. It's just like this little
the nature's pumped in.
Oh yeah,
know?
I know. But it's just this idyllic thing. It's just like an oasis of calm. You're walking around in this place, and 2 minutes away, you've got utter chaos of the village, and you just feel like you're in a completely different place. I was absorbed by it. I thought it was fantastic, and we would definitely go there again. Newport Bay was all right when we went there. I mean, it's a great hotel, but as an experience, this and not Compass Club, so not Golden Forest, but just the standard at Sequoia was superb. And actually, the other big thing is it doesn't feel like it's a long way away. Newport Bay is closer than Cheyenne, but it feels the same distance by the time you've walked there. Sequoia doesn't feel that far to me.
There's a lot of love for Sequoia in the chat.
And
a lot of love.
In terms of comparison with distance with Hotel New York, which the reason it's priced as it is because it's the next closest one to the parks. But you come out of the front, once you've got to the lake, you walk 50 metres away from the front of it. It's it's negligible, the difference in distance, isn't it?
And at Newport Bay, you're entering through the security at the other side of the lake. And actually, that you have to walk down past McDonald's and everything to get into the main walk of the village. Whereas when you go on the side of the Marvel hotel, you're kind of straight in at the bottom there, and you're on that run already. And it just everything about that side of it feels closer than Newport Bay, even though it's strictly speaking not.
Miriam's been there 5 times in 16 months.
Wow.
Oh.
But yeah, everyone's loving it. Pauline, Claire says there's just something about it.
Yeah.
Thing is, the on-site prices are really terrifying me at the moment. However, in the past, when I used to price up packages, if you just sort of shopped around and tweaked your dates and arrived on a Monday or left on it, do you know what I mean? You just kind of worked out your dates. You could often find Sequoia Lodge for about £50 more for 4 days than Cheyenne. I don't mean £50 a night. I mean £50 for 4 days, depending just when you did it. And with that in mind, it's so worth it to go to Sequoia.
It's worth. I would say for a 5-day break, it's worth £500 to £600 more than what you pay for Cheyenne or.
And sometimes there's not that much of a difference.
No, there isn't. No, you're absolutely right.
Whereas jumping then up to Newport Bay, I would really have to be getting a good deal to convince me it was worth. From Sequoia, you'd really have to convince me it was worth it. I mean, I'm sure it is lovely.
George has just said Sequoia at Christmas with a roasting fire, etc. is something very special. I can imagine it would be.
We went in.
It was burning hot.
We went in January, and it was really nice to sit in the bar.
And we had banana hot chocolates in the bar next to the fire. It was
David
lovely.
says, "I love Sequoia, but the fake bird song is distracting." I found that about Polynesian Village Resort. At about 7 a.m., all of a sudden the cicada noise just stopped. It faded out very quickly. Because I almost believed it was real.
In the real world, they cut out like that, though. They just stop.
Exactly 7 a.m.
Well, no, but they
like
kind of just stop.
Like a 5-second fade out.
I did like the sound of the cicadas, though.
I was like, oh, this is...
Sequoia, I like that.
I thought, oh, this is pumped in. But no, I like it too. Like, I love all that kind of stuff. I realised it was fake.
I do want to say, by the way, booking on site at the moment, the simplicity of using the app to check in. So I checked in, you print out your forms and fill them all out, and they have a quick look and make sure you've done them, and they take them. So now you don't have these massive long queues that you have to wait to go check in, sit there and fill out a form and do all this stuff with them. You just turn up and they say, have you got your paperwork? Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Thank you. Just give me a second. They walk over and gave us the cards. We left Magic Circus at 7:45 in a taxi. We were at Sequoia at 5 to 8. We went through security there. Laura took the bags to the baggage while I checked in, and we were in the park. We were in the queue for early Magic time by 8:30. So we only missed the time to queue in. It was fantastic. It just such a big difference to before. I mean, we were there early as well, so I guess that's part of the reason the queues were down. But it was just such a good experience. Really, really good experience.
The thing is, now I have to, everything we've talked about today, I have to book a Christmas trip staying at Sequoia.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I think we should do Halloween time before we do Christmas again.
Okay, then. Should we go at Halloween then?
Yeah.
Miriam's just said that I feel like Newport is just too big. If you end up at the very end, I bet it's exhausting. When we stayed, we did Compass Club, and they're all in the middle on like the 5th and 6th floor or something, and as a result of that, it felt quite quiet because of where we were. But on a couple of the occasions, like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, if you went into the foyer and new people were turning up, you got to see just how chaotic that place is, because it is massive. It is absolutely huge, and it's high end for Disney as well. So I found it too much. I never felt like that at all at Sequoia this time, and we know that the parks and the hotels were busy this time.
Yeah,
they were busy.
They've zoned out their common areas in Sequoia a bit, haven't they? So the shop is actually nowhere near the check-in. It's kind of down round the corner and off, and they've got like little areas with pool tables and
we
stuff
played
all over the
fuzzball
place.
outside on the veranda thing. It was nice. We decided to go back early one night, and we went and sat on the little outside bit. We got a drink from the bar, and we went and sat outside. The boys played fuzzball, and then it was like before we went out for tea, and then we went out and had our tea and went back into the parks in the evening. But it was lovely, and Lucas wanted to do that again. I think that's the thing. You go to Disney, and if you don't go regularly, every time you go, you want to do everything you possibly can, and it can be quite stressful and chaotic and heavy at times, but it's brilliant. This time, I think Sequoia just helped us slow down a little bit, and the heat did as well, obviously. But on 2 occasions, 2 days of the week, we came back. We had our lunch at 12:30 or whenever it was, and maybe went and did a couple more rides. But we were back at the hotel by 2, and we were in the pool by 3. And then we went back to the hotel and had a siesta, like you're supposed to do. And Ollie had a sleep for like an hour or whatever. We all got ready, and then we went out for our evening meal, and it meant we were far fresher for the evening.
I like to do that.
It was great, and it just took all the pressure off it as a holiday, because actually you enjoy that stuff as well.
Yeah.
And it made a massive difference to how we've done Disney in the past, I think, and it's something that I think even when it's colder, we'd probably consider still doing as well.
I think once you go on to your 3rd, your 4th, your 5th, your 27th trip, it's really lovely to not have that feverishness. Like, you've just got to grab everything all at once. You think, well, I'll get it next time, or we've done that before. And it's just quite nice because you can enjoy it in a different way, can't you?
Yeah.
You can really just, like, let it wash over you instead of feeling you have to. If you've ruined your trip if you haven't been on Indiana Jones.
There's a few people there saying we should all have a meet-up at Halloween.
Yes.
Maybe we
in
will.
Dewsbury.
Yeah. I've noticed there's a new playlist on our channel called Disneyland Paris 2022. So there's a whole video from Lucy, a whole video from Chris. I watched that the other day, Chris. Lucas, it's just so lovely. He bought
his film.
he bought everyone presents with his holiday money.
Yeah, he did.
It's lovely.
It's
And I've got a full trip report on there that's 20 minutes long. And I must say, I've had some very flattering comments about it, and some in the chat as well today. So thanks for that, guys. So that can be found in our playlist, Disneyland Paris 2022, because my video's on my channel, but we put it in there. Also, there's a full channel of, it's called like Disney, what's it called? Disney Park Vlogs or something? I can't remember.
Like that, yeah.
Let me find it real quick. So we've got like a playlist, Disney Trip Reports. There's 18 videos on there, and there's like loads of old videos and stuff, mostly from me. Oh, no, they're all from me. No, there's a couple from Lucy. Anyway, so yeah, if you want to see like our latest trip, you can see some of those videos.
I didn't take a lot of video while I was there. When I started doing this show, I was enthusiastic about podcasting. I had no plan of having my face on a screen. So it's not something that I do a lot of. I might be able to pull together 10 or 15 minutes and talk about some of the things that we've done. But in all honesty, we're talking through most of it on here anyway, so I probably won't. However, I am going to do some videos on food. So I'm going to do a video on the meal plans, just to give you a bit of an idea of how we've used them, some of my recommendations, that sort of stuff. And I think I'm going to do 2 others on the restaurants as well. So I'm going to do one on the table service restaurants and one on the buffets.
Cool. So that should be in our Disneyland Paris 2022 playlist.
I would think so.
Yeah,
probably
put it
makes
in
sense,
there.
doesn't it?
So that's a good place to start. And that that's the most recent trip. So you can see Avengers Campus on there, and me just being stupid as well, which will annoy some.
No, Hugh, not you.
It will annoy some people, but some people find it funny. So
And
that's
I've got loads. I've got like 5 vlogs from that trip that I'm still to edit. So I'll try to be quicker. And then I've still got like 5 left from Walt Disney World to upload as well. But they take a lot of editing. It's hard.
So yeah, on top of that, there's the Walt Disney World 2022 trip reports and vlogs. All mine are on there. Lucy's got some stuff coming onto there
now,
as well.
just before I go,
Just check out all our playlists.
we have overrun by 15 minutes again, but this is very important that I plug and I continue
10
to
minutes,
plug
we're fine.
this charity show that we're going to do. So remember, it's the 18th of September. It's from 4 till 8. Bring your piggy bank or your PayPal details, because we will be donating everything direct to dementia care, and we're going to be doing some silly stuff, and we're going to be talking about lots of Disney things, doing lots of Disney quirks. We might have some special guests. I think we're trying to sort those out, perhaps.
Are we?
I don't know. It's mentioned, and then we're like, oh, logistics, because we don't have to do logistics. Chris has to do logistics.
Somebody's been desperately trying to get us to do something with Sam for God.
Yeah.
So we might have to reach out.
Sam
to
was
that
up
one.
for it. She
Yeah.
said yes. So if we can get to do a guest call in, that'd
See
be
if we can
great.
find a way of doing that.
Yeah, we'll hopefully figure something out.
I just want to say thanks to the Dunn family quickly, just for doing the super chat thing, because I know it was a bit of a shock last week when
Yeah,
the
we-
same thing
There's shock
happened, 'cause
again
we
this
didn't-
week.
we'd
We
forgotten
suddenly
it was
went-
switched on, but
We suddenly went, oh, because there was a green comment in the chat.
Yeah.
We went, oh.
It's a feature we've been able to switch on. There's no expectation there whatsoever, so please don't feel that you have to use it at any point, but it's there if you want to use it.
We're just glad you're here, guys.
But yeah, thank you for that. And yeah, if you do choose to use it, then ask for shout outs or whatever it might be. If you want something to do, it comes up as a big alert, so we can see you get to stand out in the chat, and we can make a fuss about you.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Right. Well, thank you very much for joining us once again.
Yeah, there's been loads of stuff going on in the chat, which we had to kind of, because we were focused on what we were talking about.
What
So
I
we're
love
sorry
is
if we...
that you're helping each other.
Yeah, you're all answering each
Yeah.
other's questions.
You're answering each other's questions, so we can just go, oh, they've dealt with that.
That's a really good point for anybody listening to the podcast who find this chat distracting maybe, but because you can't follow what's going on, sometimes we don't manage to get through everything that's being discussed there, but there's a nice little community going on in the chat, and everybody helps each other out. So if you wanted a reason to join in live or to watch it later, the chat's always there, so you can always go through that.
Or just,
if you've got a question.
you can join in retrospectively, just
comment.
Respond to anything we're saying now, just pop it in the comments.
Yeah,
we
we try and get in touch
We do.
and
We keep
answer
up
to
with
everything
those
everywhere where we can.
We have an extra 20 minutes for our
That's what I was just gonna
Patreon show after this. If you want to join Patreon, you can do. And you get stickers now, don't you? We have stickers.
We're arranging. Yeah, so there's been a bit of a halt to the stickers whilst I was on holiday, but I've got a few to send out next week. But yes,
So-
there's stickers there for anybody who joins. You get a shout out on the show as well if you become a Patreon subscriber, and you get access to the show and to anything that we get early access to any other podcasty, showy type things that we might do as well.
So that's all from us tonight. Join us on Patreon in 2 minutes if you are a Patreon pal already. I've been Lucy. This has been the boys. Good night.
Bye.